Have you ever wondered about the connections between the ancient philosophy of Stoicism and the modern field of psychology? Despite being separated by over 2,000 years, these two schools of thought often align in surprising and profound ways. Stoicism, the enduring Greek philosophy that emphasizes the importance of reason, virtue, and living in harmony with the natural order, has experienced a remarkable resurgence in popularity in recent years. Meanwhile, the field of psychology has continued to evolve, providing us with a deeper understanding of the human mind, emotions, and behavior. So, what exactly are the connections between Stoicism and modern psychology? How do these two seemingly disparate fields inform and complement each other? Let's dive in and explore the fascinating ways in which these two powerful frameworks intersect. One of the most striking areas of alignment between Stoicism and psychology is the idea of control. The Stoics believe that we have control over our thoughts, judgments, and actions, but not over external events or circumstances. This idea of distinguishing between what we can and cannot control is a cornerstone of Stoicism. In the field of psychology, this concept is known as the locus of control. Psychologists have long understood that individuals with an internal locus of control, those who believe they have agency and influence over their lives, tend to be more resilient, motivated, and successful than those with an external locus of control, who feel like their lives are largely determined by forces outside their control. Imagine you're stuck in traffic, running late for an important meeting. A person with an external locus of control might get angry, honk their horn, and let the frustration ruin their entire day. A Stoic, or someone with a strong internal locus of control, would recognize that they have no control over the traffic, but they do have control over how they respond to it. They might take a deep breath, turn on some calming music, and use the time in traffic to plan their meeting or think about their priorities for the day. This idea of control is crucial because it empowers us to focus our energy and attention on the things we can influence, rather than getting bogged down by the things we can't. By accepting that we can't control everything that happens to us, we free ourselves from unnecessary stress and anxiety, and instead, we can channel our efforts into what truly matters. Another area of alignment between Stoicism and psychology is the concept of virtue. The Stoics believed that the ultimate goal in life is to live in accordance with virtue, the qualities and behaviors that are inherently good and align with the natural order of things. This includes virtues like wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. In the field of positive psychology, researchers have identified similar qualities and character strengths that are associated with well-being and flourishing. For example, the VIA, Values in Action, Inventory of Strengths, a widely used assessment tool, identifies 24 character strengths, including traits like creativity, gratitude, and self-regulation, that are linked to increased life satisfaction, happiness, and resilience. Imagine you're trying to stick to a healthy eating plan, but your coworker brings in a box of donuts to the office. A person with poor self-regulation might succumb to the temptation and indulge, letting their impulses override their long-term goals. A Stoic, or someone who has cultivated the virtue of temperance, might recognize the pull of the donuts, but they would tap into their sense of self-discipline to politely decline, knowing that staying true to their healthy eating plan is more important in the long run. By cultivating virtues like temperance, the Stoics believe that we can develop the inner strength and resilience to resist temptation and stay focused on our long-term goals and values. This idea of virtue is not about rigid rules or moral absolutism, but rather about aligning our actions with what is inherently good and beneficial, both for ourselves and for the greater good. Another key principle of Stoicism that aligns with modern psychology is the concept of amor fati, or love of fate. The Stoics believe that we should embrace and accept the circumstances of our lives, rather than constantly wishing they were different. This doesn't mean that we should passively accept everything that happens to us, but rather that we should focus on what we can control, our own thoughts, actions, and responses. In the field of psychology, this idea is closely related to the concept of acceptance, the ability to acknowledge and embrace our experiences, both positive and negative, without trying to fight or change them. Acceptance-based therapies, such as acceptance and commitment therapy, ACT, have been shown to be highly effective in helping individuals manage a wide range of psychological and behavioral issues, from anxiety and depression to chronic pain and addiction. Imagine you're trying to stick to a fitness routine, but you keep getting derailed by unexpected events or obligations that pop up. A person who struggles with acceptance might get frustrated and give up on their goals, feeling like the universe is conspiring against them. A Stoic, or someone who has cultivated a love of fate, might acknowledge the challenges, but they would approach them with a sense of resilience and determination, knowing that they have the power to overcome them and stay true to their fitness goals. By cultivating a love of fate and a sense of acceptance towards the circumstances of our lives, we can free up mental and emotional energy that might otherwise be spent resisting or trying to control things that are out of our hands. This can help us stay focused and disciplined, even in the face of unexpected challenges or setbacks. Another area of alignment between Stoicism and modern psychology is the idea of cosmopolitanism, or the belief that we are all citizens of the broader universe, rather than just of our local community or nation. This idea of being part of a larger, interconnected whole is a crucial aspect of Stoicism, as it encourages us to consider the impact of our actions on the greater good, rather than just our own individual interests. In the field of psychology, this concept is closely related to the idea of social identity, the way we define ourselves in relation to the groups and communities we belong to. Psychologists have long understood that our sense of identity and belonging can have a profound impact on our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, and that cultivating a sense of connection to a broader community can be a powerful driver of well-being and pro-social behavior. Imagine you're faced with a dilemma at work. You could make a decision that would benefit your team, but it might come at the expense of another department. A person with a narrow, individualistic mindset might prioritize their own team's interests without considering the broader implications. A Stoic, or someone with a cosmopolitan mindset, might take a step back and consider the impact of their decision on the entire organization, or even the community as a whole. They would strive to find a solution that benefits the greater good, rather than just their own narrow interests. This idea of cosmopolitanism is particularly relevant in our increasingly globalized world, where the actions of individuals and organizations can have far-reaching consequences. By cultivating a sense of responsibility and concern for the larger community, Stoicism and modern psychology encourage us to consider our place in the grand scheme of things, and to make decisions that align with the well-being of all. Another key principle of Stoicism that aligns with modern psychology is the idea of self-sufficiency, or the belief that true happiness and fulfillment can only come from within, rather than from external sources. The Stoics believe that we should not rely on wealth, status, or the opinions of others to find happiness, but rather, we should cultivate a sense of inner peace and self-reliance. In the field of psychology, this idea is closely related to the concept of intrinsic motivation, the drive to engage in activities and behaviors because they are inherently rewarding or meaningful, rather than for external rewards or recognition. Psychologists have long understood that individuals who are intrinsically motivated, who find joy and purpose in their actions, tend to be more resilient, creative, and satisfied with their lives than those who are primarily driven by extrinsic factors. Imagine you're feeling down about your job, or frustrated by the constant pressure to keep up with the latest trends and social media influencers. A person who is overly dependent on external validation might try to find happiness and self-worth through material possessions, social media likes, or the approval of others. A Stoic, or someone who has cultivated a sense of self-sufficiency, might recognize that true fulfillment comes from within, and they might focus on developing their own sense of purpose, meaning, and inner peace, regardless of external circumstances. By embracing the principle of self-sufficiency, the Stoics and modern psychologists alike encourage us to free ourselves from the constant pursuit of external validation and the stress of constantly trying to keep up with others. Instead, we can focus on developing our own inner resources and finding happiness and meaning in our own actions and choices. Of course, these core principles of Stoicism are not just abstract ideas, they are meant to be put into practice in our daily lives. The Stoics were big proponents of practical exercises and techniques that could help individuals cultivate these virtues and mindsets. One of the most well-known Stoic practices is the negative visualization exercise. This involves imagining the worst-case scenario or the most challenging circumstances that we might face, and then mentally rehearsing how we would respond to them. This can help us cultivate a sense of resilience and adaptability, and it can also help us identify and address any weaknesses or vulnerabilities in our own character. In the field of psychology, similar techniques are used in cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, and other evidence-based therapies. These approaches often involve helping individuals identify and challenge negative or maladaptive thought patterns, and then practice more constructive ways of thinking and responding to challenging situations. Imagine you're trying to save up for a big purchase, but you keep getting tempted to spend money on things you don't really need. A person who struggles with impulse control might succumb to the temptation and overspend, only to regret it later. A Stoic, or someone who has practiced the negative visualization exercise, might imagine what it would be like to not have the money they need for that purchase, or to have to put it off indefinitely. By mentally rehearsing how they would respond to that scenario, they can strengthen their self-discipline and make it easier to resist the temptation to spend. Another Stoic practice that can be incredibly helpful is the morning routine. The Stoics believed that how we start our day can have a profound impact on our mindset and productivity throughout the rest of the day. By establishing a consistent morning routine that incorporates Stoic principles, we can cultivate the habits and mental states that support our long-term goals and values. In the field of psychology, the importance of morning routines and daily habits is well established. Researchers have found that individuals who engage in regular, intentional morning rituals tend to be more focused, productive, and resilient than those who do not. These practices can help us manage our emotions, boost our cognitive function, and align our actions with our deepest values and aspirations. A Stoic morning routine might include things like reflecting on your values and principles, and how you can align your actions with them throughout the day. Practicing mindfulness or meditation to cultivate a sense of calm and focus. Engaging in physical exercise to energize your body and mind. Reviewing your schedule and priorities for the day, and identifying any potential challenges or obstacles. Visualizing yourself successfully navigating the day's events and accomplishing your goals. By incorporating these types of practices into your morning routine, you can set yourself up for a day of increased focus, discipline, and alignment with your core values, much like the Stoics of old. Ultimately, the core principles of Stoicism, control, virtue, amor fati, cosmopolitanism, and self-sufficiency, offer a powerful and practical framework for navigating the challenges and complexities of modern life. And as we've seen, these ideas often align remarkably well with the insights and findings of modern psychology. Whether you're looking to improve your personal productivity, strengthen your relationships, or make a positive impact on the world around you, the lessons of Stoicism and modern psychology can be a valuable guide. By embracing these complementary perspectives, we can cultivate a greater sense of inner peace, resilience, and alignment with our deepest values and goals. So, why not take some time to explore the connections between these two powerful schools of thought? The journey of self-improvement is a lifelong one, but with the wisdom of Stoicism and the insights of modern psychology as your guide, you can navigate it with a greater sense of purpose, clarity, and inner peace. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit the like button, share it with your friends and family, and subscribe to our channel for more content on Stoicism, psychology, and personal development. Together, we can unlock the power of these ancient and modern frameworks, and use them to create a better, more fulfilling life.